And thank you so much for hanging out with us. And by us, I mean me. That's right. Rob has the day off. It is Friday after all. I'll have next Friday. So we do that. It's kind of cool. This is Russell and Hunter's In Other News, Brewmance, however you want to call it. That's what we are. That's what we're doing. And we're having a good time doing it. So we appreciate you being here. Appreciate you hanging out. And because I get lonely. So I'm glad you'll be hanging out with us. There is a whole lot going on, and we've got to get to it. Let's start with, we'll get to President Trump's speech momentarily, but what I want to get to right out of the gates here, and this is probably the toughest thing to deal with, is knowing what to believe and what not to believe. I saw the day of the shooting, of the assassination attempt. Let's just stop calling it a shooting. It's called the assassination attempt. It's exactly what it is. Now, whoever you claim did it and didn't do a deep state, somebody, just some wacko, whatever it is. Okay, fine. We're going to call it an assassination attempt because it's exactly what it was. Joy Reid has a different view of it. We'll get to her in a moment. But today's news is something that I want to say that we actually have. What's up, Greg? It's something that we have to dig in when we see things like this. So I appreciate that, Ron. That's right. It's Han Solo, only cooler. That's right. But the lady behind Donald Trump in the video, that when the first, right before the first shots ring out, she either sits down or she takes a step down to the riser step below her. Whatever it is, she lowers in elevation. She's looking off to where we would think is where the bullets are coming from. And before the shooting, and she puts her sign over her face. And then the shots ring out and she does absolutely nothing, doesn't move, but puts her camera up to start filming it all. Doesn't even flinch. And so I start getting these videos all the Mike. Is this real, Mike? What is it? Is she a plant? Is she a plant? Is she a plant? This morning's news was that she was part of the FBI, and they had her profile, they had her social media, they had this is who she was. She was part of the Jan 6 thing. She was a plant in Jan 6. I mean, it all went. They thought had her. Searching into FBI and her name, it is a woman that looks like her. I cannot be convinced that's her. I'm going to say that as of now, that's not her in my mind. The woman behind Donald Trump is thinner. She has a thinner nose, a different shaped nose, and she just doesn't have the same. I mean, she's a brunette. This basically is where we're at there, and it was close. So it actually had me for a moment because I was looking at the picture. Then I was looking at the picture they have on our Fed page, but then I was looking away. You got to understand, whether it's a radio show, whether it's online, or whether it's somebody's yearbook, everybody is done up in their picture for their headshot for their job, right? For their name badge, for the company website, whatever it is, everybody is done up. So the done up version of this woman that they're claiming is behind Donald Trump is a very close. It looks close. Like that looks pretty dang. If somebody did an AI search or something like that, I would expect AI to pick that up. That's how close it looks. But then you see actual video of her. You see actual pictures of her just in normal everyday where she's not done up in perfect lighting. That does not look like her. And let's be honest, the picture of the video of her behind Donald Trump is just normal cell phone camera. Mm-hmm. Yes. Best convention in 15 he's attended. I'm not going to deny that one, Greg. That's for sure. It definitely the Republicans did do it right. So anyway, I want to squash that for now. And if I turn out to be wrong, good. Well, not good. I mean, could you imagine if that Fed was signaling a shooter? I mean, good grief. I mean, so I hope that it is staying the way it is, and that was not her. She was not a federal agent. And on top of that, I don't know how I'm going to act in an active shooter situation. If you ask me how I'm going to act in an active shooter situation, I'm going to jump on my loved ones and anyone when I can. That's the man I think I am. But I haven't been in this situation. So I don't know how I'd act. I saw a video from just off stage, off of the risers in the crowd. And there's this guy. He's just kind of got his elbows on the fence. And he's just kind of looking around as everybody's diving down. He's just kind of like, just want to see what's going on. Didn't even it seemed not have a care in the world. Would I be that way? I don't know. I mean, watching people get down. Boom, 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 boom. Get down, get down, get down, get down. This guy's just cool as a cucumber looking around. Just like you'd look on maybe have a small fence in a yard, something like talking to your neighbors. You kind of leaning on the fence. That's exactly what his vibe was. I don't know how I would be. So I can't say. So interesting. And so just let's oh, have you seen this woman? Please verify this. We verified it. At least I've done my research. And in my research, I said that's probably not her. Okay. Probably not a Fed, but it had me for a minute. It definitely had me for a minute. So let's do this. Let's get to the convention, and we'll get to Joy Reid. Actually, let's get to Joy Reid before we get to the convention. Joy Reid is, as we all know, is a cancer of news media. She is an absolute cancer. She's up there with Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar as the most disinformation, and Anna Navarro, let's just say the entire cast of View. They're the worst. They literally the worst of this. I've been around firearms my whole life. There is no way we could recreate intentionally what happened to President Trump. No way. But still, in this wacko's mind, this wacko Joy Reid, who forget about Trump derangement syndrome. There is a Trump virus in her brain that is eating it in real time. And we're watching her just fall into a level of absolute derangement. So check this out. This is Joy Reid. No, boy. Here we
go. Still don't know for sure whether Donald Trump was hit by a bullet, whether he was hit by glass fragments, whether he...
Whoa, okay. Glass fragments from what? Was there a chandelier dropped on him? I haven't, or near him? What do you mean glass? Glass fragment from what?
Was hit by shrapnel.
Shrapnel from what? Did he step on a landmine? Did somebody step on a landmine near him? This woman is just announcing, and that's why I love social media. One of the biggest things I love about social media, you've heard me and Rob talk about it several times. I love social media. It just exposes who you are. Like, it is definitely exposed who Rob and I are. We don't hide who we are. We know who we are. This woman is absolutely delusional. So we don't know if it was a bullet that hit him, or maybe it was a rock that was hidden in a water balloon that hit him and we didn't see. I mean, this woman is crazy.
We don't have those details.
You don't need them.
We actually have no details.
Yeah, you do.
From his physician, even though this man is still a Secret Service protected, and presidential candidate. We know almost nothing. Why? Why don't we know that much? We know that 3 people were...
Well, there's a reason, dear, that we don't know that much, is because there's a lot of people that are hiding a lot of things. And it's not Donald Trump and his team that orchestrated somebody to clip him as he's moving his head around in the ear. You dolt.
Shot. One person, unfortunately, was killed at the rally.
Yeah.
We don't know where they were sitting or standing relative
to him. Yes, we
do.
Exactly, we do. Yes, we do.
We don't know why for 9 full seconds.
Oh, this is my fave. Okay, but anyway, sweetie, we do know. We actually do know where those people were sitting. We do know who was tending to them. And I actually saw a tweet from a with liberal something, and that there was an ER doctor that tended to the wounds of the victims. And she was blown away that there are actual Trump supporters that are doctors that are in ER rooms treating people, because she claims that if you're a Trump supporter and you're an ER doctor, that you won't treat gay people, women that have gotten abortions or whatever it is. It was absolutely asinine. It's as dumb as her.
Donald Trump was allowed to stand back
allowed to stand
during an active shooter situation, even though they at that point had said the shooter was down.
Correct. Yes, that's what they said. Shooter's down. They all have earpieces. They know what's going on.
How would they would they have known if there were more shooters or not?
What apparently Joy Behar, same thing, right? They share a brain. Joy Reid thinks that we should have hogtied the president and lifted him up and dragged him to the SUV. No, the man can stand. He was covered, and then he stood surrounded by agents. This is what I understand to be protocol, and move him with his feet. He's not a light dude. Okay. I weigh 190 pounds. Okay. And Graham's best shape president ever. He weighs a lot. He's a heavy dude. And so they get him up, he can walk, and they move him to the SUV. Joy thinks that shouldn't have happened. They let him stand in it. Yeah, they let him stand, pose for a photo op. Let me tell you something. Anything you saw last night was you saw a changed Donald Trump. You saw Donald Trump who saw the end of his life like that, who understands that he's very lucky to be alive. That's the man you saw. You didn't see the same blustering. You said, I mean, he was campaigning. It was a campaign speech. Get it? But the dude had a different demeanor the entire show, the entire convention that he's ever had. He was allowed to stand for a photo op. He wouldn't think about a photo op. A photo op. Good gravy. All right, here we go. Let's get back to her here.
Nobody knew that there could have been 5 shooters for all they knew. Yet they allowed him to stand up in the middle of that, crisis.
Yeah.
And pose for a photo.
Pose for a photo. That was posing for a photo.
Fist pump the air.
Oh,
so he could get the iconic photo.
That's exactly what he was thinking in that moment, right? When you just had your ear blasted off, that's exactly what you think of. Hold on. I see a cameraman there. Hold on. How's the light? How's the lighting? We good? Is there a flag in the background? Okay, let me see. There's a flag in the background. That's fantastic. Hey, Secret Service dude, you're in my shot here. Can you just get your okay? Now let me fist pump. Moron.
And then they allowed him to stand up again outside of the SUV instead of just shoving him into the SUV. That seems really unusual.
Okay.
What is the actual injury to Donald Trump's ear that's under that bandage? Shouldn't we know that by now?
You do.
It's weird. And there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of curiosity about it. In the sort of media world, my profession. It's weird.
Your profession.
Right? Where are the FOIAs? Why isn't the New York Times aggressively
FOIA? So in by the way, in 6 days, the Freedom of Information Act, they think a FOIA request. This dolt thinks a FOIA request. I want information, so I'm gonna put in a FOIA request to get the doctor report from Donald Trump's ear. They think that's going to be. This woman. I can't even. I'm done with her. This thing isn't even over. But I'm done with her. Holy cow! Get off on my stage. This is absolutely unreal. This is as dangerous as anything else. This is as dangerous as any of the conspiratorial things that you're thinking and saying. And again, Rob and I had a pretty solid argument this week. Not an argument, just a grown-up discussion about whether it's called a conspiracy theory or not. So any of the other theories, let's just put it that way. Any other theories of what happened, how it happened, why it was allowed to happen, if it was allowed to happen, if it wasn't allowed to happen, that we're kind of piecing through all of this. That kind of rhetoric and nonsense by that moron is what hurts all of this. I have no idea, really, honestly, how the woman has a job. Let's talk about the actual convention. There was an investigative reporter, and God bless her for doing it, an investigative reporter that had she was looking for these. She does the kind of the loomer kind of gotcha thing. She runs up to politicians with the camera and the cell phone, and she wants to find somebody. And just what did you do? What did you say? What is your response to this and that? She's one of those. So she was waiting for the MSNBC people to get off of their little perch at the RNC, so she could confront Joy Reid and Rachel Maddow and those like that. Come to find out that they weren't there. They actually had on the NBC platform, which had live people there, but the NBC platform had a camera that was pointing to the basically to the crowd and stage. So MSNBC took the feed and put it on an LED screen behind Rachel Maddow, Joy Reid, Jen Kondasaki to make it look like they were actually at the RNC. So talk about fake news. I mean, if you're going to go fake news, if it's fake news, that's as fake as can be right there. Everyone else is there. Everyone else. Hell, stations here in the Valley were there, physically there. MSNBC, the worst thing that they did, side of that's just them being just cowards and idiots and just fake. The worst thing that they did, and the most telling thing that they did in the entire days of the convention was cut away and giggling laughter to their little studio that was supposed to look like it was there when the 13 Gold Star family showed up to speak on stage. And I can't think of side of President Trump honoring the firefighter that was killed at his rally I can't think of a more impactful part of that entire convention, because it is sad and is inexcusable that Joe Biden, President Biden, and obviously, okay, we'll get to that in a minute as well. So much going on. Just got to keep. Hopefully, I'm not overlapping and squirrel. President Biden never said their names. Never once. Never said their names. Met with all of them, not individually, collectively, and made the entire meeting about his son dying. Not at war, of brain cancer. What is horrible is that they aren't even acknowledged when the president of the United States claims not one serviceman or woman has died under my watch. Can you imagine that dagger to your soul, as if this buffoon's withdrawal from Afghanistan, the actual circus, deadly circus that it was, the joke that it was, and you lost your son or daughter because of his inaction and his ineptitude, and he doesn't acknowledge that your kid even died. As a matter of fact, he said it didn't happen. Can you imagine? So that was, to me, the most impactful part of that entire thing. They were saying their names. Man, that dad read the names. He's like, fine, I'll read them into the record. Let's go. There's only 13 of them. This ain't gonna take long, y'all. Absolute stun. Just stunning. And then we go into the shooting, the attempted suicide. The attempted suicide, I apologize. The attempted assassination. Jeez Louise. Maybe I should have some coffee. Hold on, guys. You know how it works. Hold on. That'll do it. The attempted assassination and the reports that there were stand down orders. By the way, I'm seeing cartoons and memes from around the world. Japan, the most recent, I saw one from Italy today. These cartoons and these memes and these videos making fun of the entire thing, laughing at us. And like Sheriff Lamb said yesterday, and if you didn't catch the interview, catch it on the podcast, or go back whatever platform you're on right now. It'll be the video before this one. Like Sheriff Lamb said, he said watching this made us weaker as a nation, because look at our enemies. Our enemies are watching this and our response to it, and they now know that Donald Trump has a band of clowns around him. But going back to the actual stand down orders, the reason that wouldn't surprise me if that came out to be true, and I believe it to be true at this moment, until somebody proves me otherwise, I believe that to be true because of that Abbey Gate bombing, that those 13 men and women lost their lives, and dozens of Afghanis lost their lives because the sniper testified in front of Congress. Testified. It is on record. It is public record. He said, I was told to stand down when I had the suicide bomber in my sights. I had a clean, clear shot. That means clean shot, meaning I know what is in front of that person and behind that person. My bullet will not hit them. It'll only make his head go pop. That's it. I have a clean shot. Do not engage. I have a clean shot, sir. Do not engage. Sir, this is a suicide bomber. Do not engage. So the dude actually, he basically was relieved of his post as that suicide bomber was walking towards Abbey Gate, and he went downstairs. He went down to essentially help clear out the joint because he knew the suicide bomber was there, and he was injured in the suicide bomber. It's unbelievable. What's up, Errol? It absolutely makes sense if we were told that some slappy Secret Service command said, yeah, stand down on that. We don't know what that kid is. He's a dude with a rangefinder on top of a building when the president is speaking with a clear line of sight. Oh, wow, now he has a firearm. It doesn't make any sense. None of this makes sense. The report is that it's being confirmed. The reports are being confirmed that the majority of Secret Service agents there that day were basically temp agents. They had no idea the protocol. That's why you hear the agent screaming, "What do we do? What do we do? What do we do?" I mean, what do you do? You have one job, which I think should be something else, by the way. I don't think we should treat our presidents like kings and queens. I don't think that if there's a queen in the wings, who knows? But I don't think we should treat them like deities. I think we should treat them like monarchs. We should know better by now. We fought a war to end that kind of nonsense. The Secret Service should just be able, look, if the president gets shot, that's something we deal with. But if the president gets kidnapped, we're in a whole world of trouble. In a whole world of trouble. That should be the Secret Service's only job, is to prevent the president from being taken, president or his family. Them. Aren't governments great? Yeah, aren't they fantastic, Lynn? Government. Okay, so let's get to it. Let's do it. Let's talk about the what I feel is going to happen. I think it'll happen today or this weekend. I doubt it'll happen. Wait a second. You know, it might happen Monday. I believe that Joe Biden is going to step down. I believe that Joe Biden will step down. He will step out of now. Excuse me. Let's get to it here. I don't think he is going to step down. I think that he is going to Queen Melania. I think he is going to stay president of the United States. He will serve out his term, or he will sleep out his term, whatever. I think even Jimmy Fallon last night said he's got COVID. He'll be back in action. So he'll be back to 60% in no time. He's going to serve out the presidency, and he's going to let whatever happens at the convention happen at the convention. It's going to be an open convention. It is going to be a absolute, excuse the term, shit show. Sorry, guys, it is. It's going to be an absolute debacle, because it's not going to be Kamala. Kamala is not going to be endorsed in any way by Joe Biden. The DNC does not want Kamala as definitely not to run against Trump. I have no idea who they have on the bench that can beat Trump. You can say Gavin Newsom all you want, and I think that would be probably the Democrat style pick, just because he looks the part. But his record is so unbelievably abysmal, that Trump would just, there's no way America would be like, oh, okay, great. Now we got a greasy, right out of central casting, lame, swampy politician. Yeah, let's get him. Let's put him in there. So here's the gig. Here's how we know it's not going to be Kamala. I know, bear with me, peeps. I'm telling you, AOC is actually on to something here. Here we go.
I don't think people understand what it takes in terms of running a presidential campaign. And I'm going to say what a lot of these folks aren't saying.
Okay, tell me, girl.
I'm just going to say it.
Say it.
If you think
get it,
that there is consensus,
big word,
among the people who want Joe Biden to leave, that they will support Kamala, Vice President Harris, you would be mistaken.
What? Who thinks that?
And I'm going to say that because if they're going to come out and say all their little things on background off the record, but they're not going to be fully honest, I'm going to be honest for them.
Tell me, girl.
I'm in these rooms. I see what they say in conversations.
Okay, honey, you're not in those rooms. I'm telling you, I will guarantee that AOC is not invited to these meetings. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is not invited to high-level DNC meetings where they're deciding to remove the not primaried, but their candidate from a presidential election. And by the way, let's not paint over it, y'all. Hey, by the way, this would not be Joe Biden's first time stepping out of a campaign. Oh, I hope you remember it. I'll see if I can find the video. We can kick off Monday with it. But the video of Joe Biden stepping down from his presidential campaign, when he had to admit that he plagiarized and he lied because he just got busted completely fabricating, like he still does to this very day, fabricating his entire life. So that is just it. What I would say, great analogy. Let's see here. And the rest of us who want to be neither are looking at them like the animals and people of swamp places in the zoo. That is a very good analogy. That's solid. Let's get back to AOC here. What you got, sister? What you got here?
A lot of them are not just interested in removing the president.
Okay.
They are interested in removing the whole ticket.
You're darn right. Because the ticket sucks. Wait, I mean, come on. Honestly, this is probably the worst ticket in presidential election history. The Biden-Harris ticket is just tainted goods. It was fine. It was a DEI move at the very beginning, and because look, Dr. Jill and Joe Biden hate Kamala Harris. That is a wide known fact. They picked her because of her gender and racial background. That's it. That's all they did. And they made stuff up too. So she actually is a terrible candidate for president. They thought Joe Biden would have at least enough in the tank to get through the second term, or to get us to a second term, to a second term, and not have to deal with this. If he steps down, when he steps down, wouldn't it be in the next few days? Today or the next few days, he's going to step down, and then Kamala Harris will not be crowned the nominee because she is absolutely terrible at her job. They've tried to, over the past, I would say 4 or 5 days, tried to prop Kamala up. She actually handled a couple of them. So the left legacy media is saying, oh, Vice President Harris has had the best 3 weeks in her entire vice presidency. Yes, there's a reason for that, because she's being handled at this point. That is not a president. And I got to tell you, our enemies are seeing an assassination attempt. Okay. Now they're seeing a president step back and say, basically, I'm not mentally fit to do the job anymore. And then a potential of a Kamala Harris presidency. They've got to be licking their chops at this point. They have to be excited about this opportunity. This, oh my gosh, I can't believe I get to basically run over the United States because they're weakened right now. And that's where we are. Yeah. I'm not going to miss the weekend at Biden's event. No. Yes. Like, you didn't read what I wrote in. Oh, I'm sorry. I was wondering. I was going off his zoo analogy. Is what I was doing. Yeah. COVID. This COVID thing is silly to me. Like, I don't, it's the timing. Again, I believe in coincidences. I've just never seen one. This is, once they realized that Trump was most likely going to win this election, especially after the assassination, that they have to give the guy an out. They have to give him out. It's going to be a long COVID kind of thing or whatever. Maybe he's going to be the first. Maybe he's going to be the first victim of avian flu, and then that's going to be the new COVID going into the election. That's avian flu is going to be a pandemic before the election. That is my prediction. My prediction per the game, Bab. That's how it's going to go. Joe Biden will not be the Democrat nominee. It's going to be an open convention in Chicago, of all places, and it is going to be it's going to be awful. That does not bode well for anyone. That doesn't bode well for any of us. It just doesn't. If the DNC, because they have been that way, they've been very open with their, we don't care about your vote. We're going to pick who we want, especially in the primaries, right? They've done this. So they have I would say a better plan if they're just honest. We don't think Joe Biden can beat President Trump right now, so we're going to put in Gavin Newsom or whoever we're going to put in. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Pritzker. I wouldn't be surprised if it was the governor of Illinois. I wouldn't be surprised. He's a bazillionaire. I mean, the dude is one of the shadiest people in history, and just fits right into the fold. Let's get back to our girl, shall we? What's up, AOC? What you got?
Am I here to guarantee that is what is going to happen, or that is what will happen? I can't tell you that, because as we all know, politics is insane. Anyone who tells you 100% what's going to happen is lying to you or engaged in an enormous amount of hubris. I'm not here to tell you that if Joe Biden is the nominee, he's definitely going to win.
Nope.
But Because I don't think if anybody is the nominee, we're definitely going to win.
Got a girl, see?
Okay? And I understand where we want to talk about hedging bets. But I do want you to know what gets uncorked. Because if you think that's going to be
Girl, your head, never mind.
An easy transition, I'm here to tell you that a huge amount of the donor class and a huge amount of these elites and a huge amount of these folks in these rooms that I see that are pushing for President Biden to not be the nominee also are not interested in seeing the vice president being the nominee.
Right, because no one wants the vice president to be the nominee. That's not going to happen in any bizarro world. That's not going to happen. And by the way, as I say that, there's this voice in the back of my head going, dude, they've done crazier things. They've done dumber things. Whoever they put up there, one of two things is going to happen, if not both. The first thing that is going to happen is you will realize that they know that they can't beat Donald Trump, so they'll put basically a placeholder in there. They'll put somebody, they might put Kamala up there. If they put Kamala up there knowing that they're not going to beat Donald Trump, they're just going to say, okay, well, you had your chance. You didn't win. Sorry, sister. Bye-bye. Have fun on the speaking tour. I'm sure you're going to have plenty of board positions. You're going to be just fine for the rest of your life as a former vice president. So there is the first thing there's a potential of having. Or they put somebody up there that divides their party in every way. You got to understand the DNC, the Democrat Party, for the most part in Washington, votes in lockstep. They will vote in lockstep for the greater good. And that's how they vote. But what they do is they tear each other apart on social media and in the press. Because whoever the DNC puts up there is not going to be as progressive enough for the progressive party, the progressive wing of their party. They're going to be at all. The squad, there's no way. I mean, you have to put like a Bernie Sanders type up there. And maybe they let Bernie run again as the sacrificial lamb. But there's no way that whoever they put up there is going to be liberal enough for them. Then the other side. Do you pick because if you pick an establishment, but if you do pick somebody that is liberal, you lose all the down cards. You're losing all your Senate races and your House races around the nation. Look, they are in a tough spot. They either have to go all in on this progressive nonsense that Biden started. This is literally, he is that is probably the most progressive agenda we have ever seen since the New Deal. And so the thought of somebody being either sacrificial lamb and just everybody knows that person's not going to win, or we're going to try to win this thing and we're going to keep the down card safe and put something as crazy progressive as you can in there. Either way, they're hosed. The Democrat Party is in shambles right now. They are. They'll still vote the same way. They're going to. Mm-hmm. See, Glenn, that's funny. So they're going to, but they might just do a whole outsider thing. Do you know who I think that is in the talks to replace Joe Biden? This is going to be an interesting one. Oh, by the way, because they don't care. I think somebody asked on here, for the DNC respect their base. DNC doesn't respect their base. They've lied to the black community for 60 years. They have lied to the Hispanic community about everything you possibly, from a better life to amnesty to, just they've lied. They've lied to women. They've lied to women about abortion for I don't know how many years. With every opportunity in the world to codify that in federal law and never did. They don't respect their base. They did with Hillary. They rigged the elections with Hillary. They know they did. That was proof from the Podesta emails. That's why Debbie Wasserman Schultz lost her job as the head of the DNC, because she was exposed that they were rigging the primary. They rigged the primary again for Joe Biden, is asking Secretary Mary P. Buttigieg and Klobuchar to step out and getting Clyburn on board. They rigged that entire thing. And then now having an open convention doesn't bother them. What about this? Wait, did I see Van Jones talking about the demo falling apart? Yeah, absolutely. And I actually saw Rachel Maddow reading to Jen Kondasaki and Joy Reid, giving them the news that support amongst black women for the Democrat candidate, support from black women has fallen 31%. Heck yeah. Yeah. It's absolutely, yeah. Rudy Giuliani, no. Rudy, it's not going to be Rudy Giuliani. Holy mackerel. And there's so many people coming up in these races. I saw Trent Franks is running again out here. Holy mackerel. Go Trent Franks. If you're in this district, I would highly recommend. That guy just got absolutely hosed, and one of the nicest, kindest human beings in the world that doesn't need to do this. He's a oil guy. He didn't need to do this. He does it because he loves his country. He actually does it. Here's my dark horse. You guys ready for this? You ready for this? Here it is. Oh, please not Mark. It is not Mark Kelly. For the love of grief. You know something, though? Hold on. I don't. My girlfriend lives down the street from Mark Kelly's campaign manager, or at least the last campaign manager. And I see that guy out like washing his car and stuff. And I'm like, how do you sleep at night, dude? You literally pulled the wool over the eyes of some. Oh, anyway, pull one past us. But this is what I think it is, guys. Hold your breath. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
All of us to really open up and talk to each other, even when it's difficult. Even when it's not something that we're comfortable with, particularly those of you who look like me, the white community.
The white community, especially, here's Mark Cuban, virtue signaling, talking about his white privilege. Mark Cuban will do anything and spend any amount of money to remain relevant. The guy was, I think, when he sold broadcast.com, he became a billionaire. He's just basically, he bought the Mavericks. There's been this steady downward turn from this nerd that just didn't get any attention his whole life, that now he just wants to cling to attention. He's got the whole Zuckerberg vibe going to him. Oh, and by the way, I did see Mark Zuckerberg on an interview today saying that the Donald Trump reaction to getting his ear shot off he said it was the coolest thing that I've ever seen. Interesting to hear Mark Zuckerberg say that. You say absolutely not, Rhonda, but why wouldn't the DNC throw this guy? Why is he popping up at all these rallies? I can almost guarantee you he'll be at the DNC. I almost guarantee he'll be in Chicago. So to have him popping up talking about DEI and talking about white privilege, I don't see why not. This is basically his third appearance.
Because it's hard to discuss race when you're white. The reality is, and just to be brutally honest, when people talk about white privilege, we get defensive.
Here we go.
Again,
yeah, I'm not going to put you guys through that, but I'm telling you, up there. I'm telling you, up there. He's up there and by the way, he's a huge donor. Huge donor. He's got name recognition, and a lot of people on the left might say, okay, here is you're basically going to fight fire with fire. You're going to fight billionaire with billionaire. Mark's not stupid. Mark's a very intelligent man. He's he will literally do anything for relevance. He will do anything to stay in the limelight. He will do anything to stay in the spotlight. He is desperate for that kind of stuff. Like I said, he was a nerd that got zero attention, became a billionaire, used that for some sort of celebrity, especially buying a sports team, and now he's the expert on everything. Yeah, it's like Bill Gates. You're a real expert on science and vaccines, you moron. Yeah. Elon would actually do more if he were the nominee than he's doing right now. Mm-hmm. Yes. You guys, Colin, you're killing me. A reference to the South Park debates between a douchebag and a turd sandwich. That was what South Park got to decide between. Elon is fantastic. Elon is putting $45 million into pro-Trump PACs every single month until the election. That is absolutely staggering. Because Elon understands as well. Elon, in his move from California to Austin, Texas, isn't just because they passed that law that stripped parents of their rights. Elon Musk, for probably the last few months, has gone with a crusade on every major project is now illegal. Let me tell you what I mean by that. He said that over the last 3 years, through the EPA and OSHA and anything you could possibly, any government regulating, Biden run anything. He said, you can't start a major project or finish a major project because everything you try to do in normal context of just building a damn building is now illegal. You have to get variances for everything that you want to do. And he said, I'm done with this. And California took that to the nth degree. And he's like, I'm done. I'm going to go to pro-business Texas where I can actually, I don't know, put us on Mars if we need to be on Mars. But I can't do that. Yeah. Austin, Jim is a good point. Austin is the LA of Texas. I totally get that. I don't disagree with that at all. Keep Austin weird has been a thing forever, ever. And it is a very liberal town. But that does not mean that the regulation is that of California or Los Angeles. You see, Los Angeles is going mostly on California statewide regulations. Very little on the city impacts what people do. You can just step outside city lines and you're fine. But it's California that has the craptastic regulations. California does not. Cuban versus Musk, dude. Elon will mop the floor with this little nerd. Holy mackerel. Elon now has a voice. He spent $44 billion to have the biggest voice of any billionaire out there, period. He does. He has the biggest voice. And by the way, can I give a shout out to Elon? I really do, because he was challenged on this, and there were a lot of disgusting posts after the assassination attempt. I'm sure you all have seen them. Lives of TikTok has been doing a fantastic job of outing a lot of these people. And surprising, they're losing their job. Wow, just like the whole cancel culture. Isn't that neat? Elon was asked why he doesn't take those posts down. Why do you not borrow these people that are saying that, oh darn, they missed, or here, try this next time, you'll be better, whatever. We should honor this shooter as a hero. These kinds of things. He said, because this is a free speech platform. Period. And I love him for holding to that. I absolutely love him to holding that, because basically saying what they're saying is not illegal at all. Not in any way, shape, fashion, or form is that illegal. Unless you are calling for the assassination of a president, then that is to be investigated. But that's about it. And if he has a team that reports those kinds of things to the authorities, then that's fine. Yeah. Yep. That is a hell of a line for a movie, name for a movie right there. Hold on, let me see if I get my movie voice going. This summer. No, we're already in the summer. This election campaign. Cancel culture 2. When karma finds you. Yeah, I like that. That's got a nice ring to it. That's got a heck of a ring to it. We stay with that. Mm-hmm. Something doesn't have a good ring to it, and it's really starting to bother me. Something Rob brought up yesterday, but we had Sheriff Lamb. That guy monopolized our show. Can you imagine? But he's got my vote. I'll tell you this. There was a recent revelation. I'll look into Rob's notes here. We actually, believe it or not, we do have show notes. Recent revelation has brought to light the existence of a secret database of gun owners maintained by the Trump campaign. This database, which was reportedly used to target individuals with pro-gun messages during the 2016 election, include the father of the man who attempted to shoot Donald Trump. The revelation has sparked discussions about the ethics and legality of compiling such data, especially given the Republican Party's historical opposition of gun owner databases. The incident has raised questions about privacy, political targeting, and potential influence of such messaging on individuals. I don't disagree. I don't disagree with them having it, and I don't disagree with that sentiment. I don't. So let me break this down. When I registered to vote, I didn't even think about it. I just registered Republican, and that's what my family was, so that's what I did. I didn't really follow politics like I do now. So, as most 18-year-olds. But I got this letter in the mail from the NRA. And I was like, I asked my father, I said, why did I get this mail from the NRA? What is this? Why would I get the NRA? He goes, did you register Republican? And I said, yeah. He goes, that's why. Having databases of people that fall into certain ideologies is nothing new to campaign politics, and even lobbying efforts like the NRA. There's that's nothing new. And let me do this. Now, I got to tell you this. Brendan is on fire right now. Now, 8 years later, the database is being used to hire a better security team. Amen to that. Holy cow. The problem I have, and this is it, the article is right in saying that. Conservatives said, we don't want a gun registry. We don't want a gun registry. We don't, no. Can't have a gun registry. No. We have one, whether you like it or not. When's the last time you bought a firearm from a gun shop? If you bought a firearm from a gun shop, if you buy a firearm, you actually, they put on the application when you're approved, everything goes on there. The serial number of that firearm goes into Mike Russell owns this. So I don't understand what a government registry would be. So, I mean, we don't need another damn registry, but they already have the information. They already have those. Call it something different. So if you call it a registry, you call what they have now in their possession right this millisecond. A gun registry is the same thing. It's identical. What they have is a gun registry. So if I own a firearm, if I buy one from Grizz, or if I, buy one from Rhonda, then that is not, but that wouldn't even go in the registry anyway. So yeah, I don't, okay. They have a list of gun owners. Ooh. There's something called data lakes. I want y'all to understand what a data lake is. Data lakes are clouds on crack. So if you want to use the analogy, so a cloud dumps water into a piece of land that becomes a lake. Okay, let's just put it that way. Or a river that goes into a lake. So this is what we have. We have all the cloud storage. Remember, the cloud is just someone else's computer. It's not a cloud. There's so many my mom, God love her. It's on the cloud. What do you mean it's on the cloud? It's on someone else's computer. It's not a cloud, Mom. The cloud dumps data into these lakes. So where cloud storage is limited, data lakes are not. And so we have we actually have the ability as companies to have access to these, and a government to have access to these data lakes where anything can be searched. So how many times Mike Russell said gun, firearm, or weapon in the last whatever on air here streaming? It's all saved. It's there. They can find it. They can find out how many firearms I have. They can no, by the way, just going through these podcasts, you can find me exactly how many firearms I bought at a firearm store, how many I have that I bought private party. They know. That's why the NSA, I think the NSA has laid off, I believe, 40% of its workforce. It's 14 or 40. It's still a large portion of their workforce. Why? Because they don't need to spy on us anymore. There's no need to. I have videos of me hunting that have firearms that I bought private sale that the government knows nothing about, that they can just zoom in and see. They can see serial numbers. They can see anything they want to see. As a matter of fact, one that I bought, I'm pretty sure I got it at such a good price. I don't know. I don't know about that one. I don't use that one a lot. I'm definitely not filming it. That's for sure. But the fact that, I'm going to clutch my pearls and say Donald Trump has access to my records of what firearms I own. So does Joe Biden. Okay. Didn't bother me when I knew Joe Biden had it. Why would it bother me if I knew President Trump had it? I just hope that I was important enough that my firearms records were in the Mar-a-Lago document cases. Maybe. If I'm that important, I'm trying to think I'm important. I'm trying to pretend, at least. But there are things happening that are real in the Second Amendment world. That's not real. I mean, important in the Second Amendment world. That's not important. What Donald Trump in his campaign having any of that information. All right, somebody says a good question. Let's see. All right. We know they know. So why does my doctor need to ask? Ooh, interesting. Verification. I would say it's probably, Rhonda. It's a lot like revenue streams. Okay, so if I want to retire well, I want to have multiple revenue streams. Okay. I want to think like that, whether it's annuities, whether it's retirement, 401ks, pensions, whatever it is. I want to have multiple revenue sources. It's the same in information. I want to have multiple information sources. So if I am the government and I want to know everything about everyone at all times, all day, every day, I want to know everything. I want to have multiple sources. So if the doctor asks, that's because most likely the governing body of our medical world wants to know everything, wants to know who has firearms and who doesn't. Yeah. They have information you bought firearms, but okay, let me get okay. You own this is one that'll admit to it. Yeah. There is a lot. Lynn just asked about the global hacking going on. This there is. I have always said, and I could be wrong after this whole what's about to happen in Taiwan and what's happening in Russia and Ukraine. I said that the next world war is going to be fought over computers and hacking. It's not going to be, guns and bayonets like the old days. Mm-hmm. Look at you are just all over two platforms, maybe making it happen. So, and I appreciate that, by the way. Thank you. As many platforms as you guys can put this on, go for it. If you can have your kid, they're having some screen time over there. If you can put Russell and Hunter in the background, that'd be fantastic. We'd greatly appreciate that. But what is it? CrowdStrike. That is a very, very dicey part of the assassination attempt where just magically they went down for a couple hours around that time. I just, man, I don't know. We are 6 days removed, and 6 days removed, we have limited information, but everything is pointing to something completely shady or just the highest level, like I said yesterday or the day before, I apologize, Uvalde level incompetence. And when I say Uvalde, I think about the Keystone cops that were placed in a position to help and save children's lives that didn't even check the door, which was unlocked, to storm in and take the shooter out. That is the level of incompetence that I'm seeing right now. Yeah, it was definitely a level of incompetence, or it's just nefarious. Because again, like I always say, I believe in coincidences. I've just never seen one. And what we saw in the assassination attempt of Donald Trump was probably, it just keeps getting scarier now that they're talking about a sniper on the water tower and all this and going away. I think the SUV left in is a Department of Agriculture, and I don't know anymore. We're just gonna have to keep digging. Yeah, those glitches in the simulation. Yeah, absolutely. So do me a favor this weekend. I'm saying my prediction is it probably latest Monday. Joe Biden will most likely step down from the election, not from being president, but he'll step away from his campaign and or just shut the whole campaign down. Make sure, especially as more stuff comes out about the assassination attempt, make sure, like we started this program, that you're doing, you see it, dig in, look for multiple sources, look for more information, make responsible judgments before you go and share anything, before you tweet things out, before you take to social and say, look what I found. Find it, dig through it, make sure it's right, and we are going to be so much better off. Because there is a part of me when I saw that the claim was that the woman acting odd behind Donald Trump during the rally was a federal agent, was FBI. I was thinking, got you. Finally, we got you. But it wasn't. At least in what I have discovered and what I have seen now, it wasn't. So I think that there's a lot of easy distraction right now. Stay in, stay focused, dig in, and then so interesting. Let's see what we got. No Mas headline. Oh, blasting! I'm telling you, man. The headlines there's entire shows around here, and y'all know what I'm talking about. Entire shows out here that just read a headline and just go talk about it on air. I'm like, I'm blown away by that. Just see the headline, and that's it. We're gonna go with it. We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna just say everything was we're the experts. I'm experts, I tell you. You drop out of if a medical condition, then boom, he has the video. That's right. That brings up a great point. that he said he would drop out of the race if there was some medical condition, and then bing, he has COVID. But he has COVID so much so that he's hanging out with the Secret Service. He's in the SUVs without a mask, and he's doing an event. And yeah. Yep. Again, believe in coincidences. I've just never seen one. Can y'all do me a big, huge favor? Just have a fun weekend. Tune it off if you can. I'm telling you. Yeah. Do someone's favorite. Shh. Brendan, shh. I didn't say that. As a matter of fact, I'm going out to my old radio ranch on Sunday. On Sunday, a good outdoor program. The host he's sick. He's really, really down, and asked if I could jump in there and do a show on Sunday morning. So I am going to help a friend out, and I'll be doing so at iHeart. Whew, that's gonna interesting going back. Yeah, it's going to be a fun. It's like a reunion. Yeah, it's going to be weird, but they're going to do that on Sunday morning. Shake, rattle, and troll. It'll be a good time. Hey, y'all, just have some fun this weekend. And again, try to keep it as light as you can. But if you do see those headlines, those big, like, dig in, and before you repost that stuff. So, love y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I just have so much fun with you guys each and every day. Excuse me. At noon right here on Russell and Hunter's. In other news, Brewmance, Russell and Hunter, whatever we're going to decide. We will decide what we're going to pin it down, but I really do like that logo. I mean, come on. It took me forever to make, for the love of grief. We got to stick with the Brewmance. Anyway, all right, guys, have a great weekend, and we will chat with you on Monday at noon. Have a great